New hair don't care. What up, you guys? What's not hearing you, girl? Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a long time. Oh my God, I missed you guys. I really did miss you. Guys, we're gonna get into this video today. There's been a lot going on, guys, in the spirit realm. Source Divine has started to talk to me. We're going to get to meet another aspect of Yeshua, the ones that people call Jesus. That was coming through, guys. I'm on a 33-day fast. Yes, I have not eaten in almost 33 days, guys, and the messages have been coming through. We have also just ended a huge karmic cycle, guys. Very, very huge. A lot of y'all, what do you call those things? I'm trying to talk like the young folks, and I can't even remember their terminology. But anywho, a lot of people is trying to come up from the past. A lot of y'all karmics, relationships, a lot of your karmic family members, karmic children. These soul ties have been they have been severed, guys. And that happened today when we went into this daylight savings time. That just happened early this morning, guys. Also, too, guys, we're going to talk about Barron Trump. I got a message about Barron Trump, Michael Jackson, and P. Diddy. There is so much to get into today, guys. Allow me to just reintroduce myself. My name is T. No. Sorry, y'all. I'm being silly, guys. I'm being silly. Let's jump right into it. By the way, y'all, go ahead and click that subscribe button, help your girl out. You know, it was very interesting. Every time I stop doing videos, YouTube rewards me with more subscribers. But when I do videos, YouTube takes subscribers away, guys. So if you've been pocket watching this channel, just go ahead and click that subscribe button, help your girl out. Let go, let go, let go. Okay, let's jump right into it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the, I'm going to start channeling this new aspect of source that's coming through, this other aspect of the ones that people call Jesus. I'm going to tell you what I wrote in my prayer journal, and then we're going to channel more into this. And I think that's going to really help us ground the energies more to really start talking about the other prophecies that I have for you guys today. Okay, so this is what this energy had to say to me. So, Yeshua, Jesus, the one that they call Jesus, right? This is an aspect of source that came down here from the cosmic sphere. So my fasting is a 33-degree cosmic Christ pivot. It's what source wanted me to call it. I am grounding into the cosmic Christ, meaning the part of the Christ that was not only cardinal, that was not only physicality, but that is also an infinite energy source that you can tap into in any dimension or space and time, right? So the Christ is the energy, the Yeshua is the one who came and held the energy for the earth children to learn, grow, and expand, right? So that's what we're talking about. So this energy started to talk to me, and he called himself Rafi. And all of a sudden I got the image of like a Rasta man, right? Like someone that would be like in Jamaica with the long dreads, right? And then Rafi, he said, my name is Rafi, and then later said Rafi, Raphael, right? Which is Raphael's archangel. Is an archangel that actually, I believe, that helps divide the soul from the body when you pass on. Hold on to that. That's very important. Humanity is going through that, which is probably why Raphael, came to give us this very important teaching today. So Rafi calls himself Rafi. He's the light, airy, and like free part of me. So this is what Source is saying. This is what Yeshua is saying, but Rafi is another aspect, right, of Yeshua. The light, the airy, the free part of me, the one that goes with the flow. That is apart from the crowd, right? The one that lives the lessons. So an average man lives the lesson. So this is another part of Yeshua. I told you guys before, there is someone else who is uber famous, and he's the reincarnation of the one you call Jesus, Yeshua. And it's funny, we'll be talking about him a little bit later, but let's continue. This is the one who lives the lessons, right? So this is an average man coming through that lives the lessons, which teaches others how to thrive. Rafi, the light of the golden light. That's what he calls himself. So the golden light is source light. It's the highest. Ooh, I said Hyatt. You know, guys, when these companies are saying these names like Uber, Hyatt, it's a reason why they're naming themselves that. They understand the meaning of things. They understand the energy of the meanings in the word. So just think about that. Anytime you're naming your children or even naming yourself, giving yourself a spiritual name, you have to understand the energy and the vibration, the resonance of that, right? So Rafi is a light of the golden light. Source is the golden light. Source, who is source? The most high, the one creator that we all things come from. Even we get other gods from source, right? There's only one source, but there's been multiple gods in recorded history, right? So he is a light of the golden light. The way, what else does he say? Says, the gust in the wind. I am the tiny magical events that happen daily. I am your daily bread. You are my brethren, my sister guides. I guide the ones that are still in the dark ages. Then he says, I am Yeshua, Raphael, and Raphael, which means God has healed. This is the energy we're in, guys. We're in this huge karmic cycle and loops. We've been in all of these. We've had all of these portal days, especially in October, was a bunch of different portals going on, where now this daylight savings time really marks us coming out of that. And the energy of Raphael has come to submit that healing, to really hold it and stamp it in the one Akashic soul, right? And so Raphael is an archangel that really does help when you are transitioning, removes the soul from the dead body and allows that soul to go into the holies of the holies. This is what's happening here on our Earth planet. If you haven't noticed, the Earth has ended the old Earth. It's like in a cocoon. The new Earth is being birthed out. I'm one of the beings, the soul beings from the 12th dimensional Stargate system council who is helping to birth out the new Earth. And Raphael is here to assist the removing the old skin from the old cocoon and bringing the souls into a more expansive, I want to say cocoon, but I guess we can call it a Merkaba, a vehicle for the soul. Your body is a vehicle here, but now that we're moving to higher ground into the new earth, we are getting a more cosmic, a more multi-dimensional vehicle for our souls to dwell in. And this aspect of source, Raphael, is assisting us with that. And I want to get some more messages here from Raphael here. And there's so much, stay with me, there's so much more to say here. So let's gather some energy here and get some more messages from this aspect of Yeshua, Jesus, Raphael. And what do you want humanity to know now? I want humanity to know that the left has been heavy-handed. The left has been running the right. The left hand has been in control. The left hand has been taking humanity through cyclones of cycles. And now I am the energy that is here to reverse those cycles and to bring back the balance of the right. When we bring back the balance of the right, it will align here in this star system on your earth rim. When we bring back the right, it will shift parallel universes. So as of Raphael is, I believe, tapping into the election, tapping into bringing back just laws of the righteous everyday man, laws that are not just for one class of people, because this is what, remember, he's an everyday man. This is what he represents. We have to bring the just back in the justice system, is what Raphael is saying. Once we do that, I believe he's saying once Trump gets into office, it will shift parallel universes. There's going to be healing in other slits of time in other parallel universes, right? And this is how we are birthing into the new earth, because we all live in multiple slits of time. Yes, your awareness is right here, right now, but when you go to sleep, your awareness is now in those other parallel universes, which is just as real as this one, right? You currently, we as humanity, do not have the frequency capacity to raise to the level of understanding here in the third eye. Let thy eye be single, is what Raphael is saying. There is this sort of, he's talking about the retina. There's a specialized retina that you're going to need in order to tune into the new earth, right? So the reason why people want to ask the reason why they can't really experience these other parallel universes is because you have not arisen to the one eye consciousness, the oneness consciousness, and there's something very elevated about the retinas, about the eyes in those particular universes or different timelines that our retinas do not have the capacity. And so what Raphael is saying, Raphael is saying is that in those other parallel universes, you see how we see through these eyes, but someone like me who is clairvoyant, who can see. So those those retinas that we have, they're not new. That's really how it's supposed to be. They have the technology built in, so they actually have the ability to be clairvoyant in those retinas, right? And so we have not agreed as a collective that that is something that is natural, right? We still think that someone being clairvoyant or claircognizant or clairsentient, right? Lucient is something that is woo-woo, is something that is bad. Once we totally agree that this is just technology, human technology, and it's just the way things are, that is when we will be able to have awareness of these other timelines. It's what Raphael is saying to us today. And so that was the first message that that he would like to bring to us. And so this is a very important. Sometimes we don't think, and even myself, oh, these elections, they don't mean nothing. Well, they don't really, because they're going to select or hire whoever they want to. But we know who they don't want to hire. It's obvious they don't want Trump in there. And I don't know if you can see, I think there's some orbs of light here. And they may pull a stunt to keep Kamala. Interesting. I think Kamala's already the president. I think she is on paper. I think she is. And I think they're going to pull some sort of stunt. They're either going to contest this. Like, it will not be clean and easy, guys. We all know that Trump already won, but they have a plan B. They have something in the reserve that they're going to try to either contest this thing, or they're going to, they may even bring up that what happened to, remember the last election when all those ballots went missing and stuff, but it was, of course, people that would have primarily voted Republican. The Democrats may even try to use that, right? They might even try to use that, but it's not even going to make sense because most of those people wouldn't have even voted Democrat to begin with, right? They may even try to use that. This is a very important time, because the reason why they're fighting tooth and nail the Democrats to stay in office is because we are going to have a paradigm shift. It's going to awaken the clear consciousness, the clairvoyancy of humanity. And this is what they're fighting for. They don't want you seeing, they don't want you feeling, they don't want you knowing. So they have to keep us this left hand, right? This heavy left hand energy that humanity has been under. They want to keep us there so that our eye will not be single, right? So that our eye will not be single. And so let's see what else Raphael would like to say. When we are attuned to the majestics of the frequency, we are guided to and through a new light, a new way of being. This frequency will hit the four corners of the earth, which is why I have sent you out. Some of us have been moving. Some of us have been called to move certain places that we never thought that we would go to ever. This is on purpose. The frequency must be held in the four corners. The four winds, the spirits of the four winds have called us there. This collective awakening, when we shift to the right, is going to cause us to come back to the middle ground, opening the clairvoyancies, clear seeing, clear vision, which were we supposed to have in 2020 vision. That's what that was about. Many of us woke up out of our slumber, and we are getting a second chance 4 years later, because a lot of us have been breaking out of the karmic loops and goos and stews and spells and breaking out of bondage, spiritual slavery, mental slavery, physical slavery. We've been breaking out of that, and which has granted us this year for another chance. This is what we're striving for, guys. This is all I see. It's one big I, one big collective knowing, one big collective awakening. And Raphael, who represents the tiny little magical things that happen to us every day, these tiny miracles, when we make it to work on time, when we just make enough to pay a bill, when we pass that test by the skin of our teeth. These tiny, tiny little victories that we have, this is what Raphael, this aspect of Yeshua, Jesus, represents. He's responsible for these tiny, tiny things. It's just helps you tip over the edge, just a tiny push that you need. And he works with the four winds, the four corners of the earth and the four winds to facilitate that for us. Thank you. So he wants us to know that there are seed stillers here in this 3D reality. So many things are set up to still our seeds. Seeds are very important, guys. Every single soul should have a seed. You get this from the divine. Every fruit should have a seed. If something doesn't have a seed, it is not a natural, organic, original being, soul essence. So just as our fruits have seeds, we also have seeds. And this, us moving from this left energy into the right energy, but the right energy actually just moves us back into balance, right? So we're going to have a pendulum swing all the way to the right. So hold on to your seats. It's about to get bumpy. 2025 will be bumpy because it's like someone is like taking the steering wheel and making a sharp turn to the right. But it's only to get back in control of the will, to take the will from the evil one. And it will be a quick shift by 2028 back into homeostasis, back into a different way of being. There will be a whole new financial system. There will be a whole new political systems. Judicial systems will change for the better if we get back in control of the steering wheel. That's what this whole Kamala Trump thing represents. It's really not about them at all. It's about energy. It's about the shift. It's about the energetic shift, the frequency upgrade. That's what this is about. They are only representing that, right? So once we get back in control of this and we reach homeostasis, the only way we can get out of here, guys, the only way we can expand through this portal, this awakening portal that has been open for some time, since 2011, 2012, this awakening portal has been open and a lot of people have been being raptured. Some people have been raptured in spirit and in body, leaving this earth. Some people have been raptured in consciousness, like myself, when we're still in a physical vessel, because we are part of the four winds, the four corners. We're part of this new shift. We are the souls that are here facilitating, holding the energy, frequency, and vibration for this shift, guys. Okay? We are the ones doing that. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Give me 1 second. And the seed stiller. So Raphael wants us to know what the left has been doing to still our seeds. The first thing is alcohol. Alcohol is the ultimate seed stiller. If you're wondering why things are not panning out in your life, it's probably because you're consuming too much alcohol or alcohol in general. It is the ultimate seed stiller. Ultimate. If you don't have a seed, you can't produce anything. You can't move forward. You can't expand. You can't grow. So stay away from alcohol, guys, if you don't want your seed stolen, because the alcohol has spirits, right? Particularly the alcohol, the wine too, if you have too much of it. But particularly the spirits, the hard liquor, but all of it, if you abuse it, all of it, you're going to be riddled with spirits. They come here to basically feast off of different parts of the body and your different energies, the brain, the heart, the gut, right? The sacral. This is what they come here to do. They're still hanging around in the spirit. They're still in purgatory. They have not moved on completely and expanded. So they're trying to see if they can get the feel goods to the body by hanging around and seeing who is in this altered state, right? And they're gonna attach to you and steal your seed, right? Which is your life force energy. Another thing too is, I mean, we could put drugs in there. And even to be honest with you, all these people doing all of these psychedelics, I'm going to throw that in there too, because some people are abusing it, right? Some people are just, if you got to keep going back for another mushroom fix and another, ayahuasca trip every year, then you really have not done the work. Yes, it does help you awaken, and it splits that false reality so that you can see your infinite self. But if you have to keep depending on it and going back every year, then you have not truly expanded, right? You shouldn't need anything to get into the altered state. I'm literally speaking to another being right now. So I'm speaking to one of the lost tribes, and I'm speaking to one of the lost books of the Bible. This is who I'm literally tapping into. You shouldn't even need an ayahuasca trip or to have eaten shrooms every other day, or however that goes. I'm not sure. I'm not downing it, but I'm just saying, if you have to keep constantly doing it to get your information, then you're not there yet. You need to do some more soul work, right? Because it can steal your seed if you keep abusing things. Anything that you abuse is a seed stiller. It absolutely is. Another thing is bad relationships, not just romantic, family, friends, coworkers, bad relationships. Not being authentic steals your seed, because when you're not authentic, what that means is you basically forfeit your seed. You're saying, here, this originality that source gave me, here, you take it and I'm going to follow you. This is a seed stiller. When you're not authentic, it is an absolute seed stiller. Also, another thing is when you are hanging around people who you know do not mean you well, who you know are in a whole nother vibration, guys. These people are your enemies. An enemy is nothing more than an opposing energy. Anyone that is opposing the energy of you, the energy of who you are at the core, that's your enemy. And that enemy could be in your own family. This is what an enemy is. Just because someone is a blood relative to you, it does not mean that they are for you. Some of these implants, and we're going to talk about that, some of these implants have written here on the karmic train into physicality to be a karmic in your life. And you're calling them your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, even your children. You have to, this is where we're getting to, guys. You have to get rid of this whole left way of thinking. No, we're going into right way of thinking, right knowledge, right wisdom. We're going into the aspect of ourselves that is highly intuitive and spiritual and empathic and is naturally connected to source divine. You cannot fake this. You cannot hide from it. It is clear seeing, clear knowing. This is where we're going. And a lot of people are sleeping with the enemy. You sleep with the enemy every night. You make love to the enemy. Your enemy now steals your seed because your enemy has already decided that it doesn't like what you bring. It doesn't like the seed. It doesn't like your fruit. It's too sweet, so it steals it. Most people are sleeping with the enemy. This is facts. This is facts. So I think that's what I want to say on that. Now, let me talk about Barron Trump. I had a vision about Barron Trump. I'm not sure what day, maybe day 17 of my fast. I was writing in my journal early in the morning, and all of a sudden, Spirit said, Barron Trump is an in-planet soul. He's an implant. Melania did not give birth to him. Meaning, whoever, I'm not sure if Melania was pregnant physically or not, but whoever was in that original, the baby that was to come through, that's not who Melania got. Melania got an implanted soul, which is Barron Trump. He is a reincarnation of J.F. Kennedy, is what source has said. That is who Barron Trump is. Barron is a reincarnation of J.F. Kennedy. There are no new players here. We're all recycled up in here. He might also be in the energy of John F. Kennedy Jr. as well. This is who Barron is. So whoever had that original soul contract to come through Melania, it got switched out. Barron got implanted here. And this is why Trump was able to become president. Barron is Trump's protector. He's his spiritual protector. So this is why Barron is here. He was not the original soul inhabitant of that child. He was absolutely implanted because we have been shifting through multiple timelines, right? This has been a viable timeline that we can view up in the cosmic sphere. So once we knew that this viable timeline, right, where humanity would come out of this left way of thinking and being and return back to righteousness to ultimately return back into homeostasis to transcend this duality focal point for the great expansion. So he's very important to the expansion of not just source, but to humanity. Barron is responsible for the shift. Barron is the one behind the man. Barron is the energy that fuels this concept that we call Trump, right? I'm calling it a concept because it is a concept. It is, what if we were utterly just upfront about what we thought, what we feel, what we felt, what we knew. This is the Trump concept that anyone can step into. We can step into that, calling out the big elites, calling out whole councils, world leaders. You see where I'm going with this? This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is a concept that humanity is following. It's a template for you to see. And this is what I should be doing. This is how we take the steering wheel back. It's the only way to expand. We have to get back on the righteous path. We cannot have just, and when I talk about the leaders of the world, I'm not talking about, okay, yes, you know how there's a tax plan and it's made for the wealthy. Well, anyone can actually take advantage of those tax benefits. You just have to be in business, stocks. You have to be in nonprofits, churches. You just have to find something you can do that will benefit you from the tax code. It's not about that. So when they show you, oh, the Republicans, they're gonna, basically make it harder for the average man because the taxes, they don't pay no taxes. Well, everyone has that same opportunity to not pay as much taxes. You just have to align yourself in a business that you can take advantage of those tax benefits. I'm not talking about that. This is much deeper of what I'm talking about. The everyday man has been enslaved here on the earth school and has been enslaved by these ideologies from the left hemisphere of the conscious body of the not even the source body, but this kind of collective body that we have down here, right? Which is our collective 3D selves. We've agreed to all of these things. We've agreed to the lower version of ourselves. We've agreed to be ruled, to be chastised, to be afraid of systems and people in power. We have agreed to that. So it has not served the everyday man, right? The everyday man has been in bondage for a very long time. This is the shift, right? So when we shift back to the right, we will now be stepping into a time of gaining time. We will be stepping into this time where the everyday man, I truly believe the everyday man is going to get more time. And this could be the changing of our financial system that is crashing. This could be the fall of the dollar, the rise of the digital dollar. I do believe that those that are in certain cryptos will be able to be ahead when this shift happens. But I honestly see that it is going to be a better situation. Even if you're not invested in those things, it will be better than what you're living. You will lose a lot, but it's funny that loss comes with freedom. The freedom I'm talking about is time. Time is our biggest asset. Time is our biggest asset. Let's spend it wisely. So that the loss comes with a lot more freedoms of time. You need time in order to expand. You can't be on the corporate plantation all day, 12, 16 hours a day, and do no introspective work, no soul work, right? So that is what's going on. And Baron is a huge part of this shift. So huge. So huge. So we just asking for Source to really cover him and his soul's mission here and give him strength and power and divine protection. Divine protection. Okay. The next message I got, guys, is about Michael Jackson. So, and I want to tap more into this because it was very disturbing what I saw. And Michael Jackson did not die in that way. Michael Jackson was taken. And it's different from, like I said, being raptured and being taken, right? Because as of some people are being raptured into the light, some people are being taken into the darkness. And I saw that his soul was taken. And when I saw that his soul was taken, he was not taken by Source, but rather he was taken by the same elites that he once did business with. This is who he was taken by. And they turned him into a science project, is what I saw. I saw him underground. Guys, this whole earth, specifically America, there is cities underground. There is ancient monuments. I also saw ancient monuments in Utah, Colorado. I talk about this in my book as well, but I saw this again. Like I said before, there are going to be so many different monuments. And I also saw it over there, North Carolina, Atlanta area, that area. There are going to be monuments, which proves that this is the old world here in America. We will be coming into this knowledge. This knowledge will facilitate the Great Awakening, the great shift, the great expansion, right? This knowledge, these monuments, when they are recovered, uncovered, the energy that they bring will help to facilitate the shift, right? The expansion that we need to expand out of the old earth into the new earth, which is, of course, 5D consciousness and even beyond, where we have access to all of these different parallel universes at the same time. And in fact, they are not going to be separate like they were here in the 3D frequency. They are going to be one. We'll be able to experience them simultaneously and differentiate which one we are experiencing and be able to make an immediate change and to see an immediate reaction or solution, right? Because we're all speeding up. And so our powers must also speed up. If when technology speeds up, we speed up. Everything must be that much faster because the goal has always been, can this humanity birth themselves from their lower selves? Can they split their consciousness? You have the ability to split your consciousness. And the shift is when we split our consciousness, we leave the lower energetic consciousness behind and we fully aspire and transfer our consciousness into the higher dimensions, which now will give us all of these timelines, access to all of these timelines and parallel universes all at once. And it never ends. And the expansion just keeps happening. We'll go to this higher version of Earth and we'll face even more challenges, right? And we hope that we will not repeat what we did here. And if we do, that one will die and we'll have to fight ourselves out and split our consciousness again to keep going higher and higher, right? That is the game. And it will just continue throughout the ages, throughout the ages. So this Michael Jackson, going back to him, he was taken. He was absolutely taken. And not by source, but by man, because of who he is, who Michael Jackson truly, really is. Michael Jackson is a reincarnation of Yeshua, Jesus. Michael Jackson is a reincarnation of Yeshua, Jesus. There are no new souls. Why do you think that when Michael Jackson was at his peak, why do you think that no one had those abilities? It was almost godlike the way he moved, the way he glided the moonwalk. It was almost godlike. It's another aspect of source, particularly Yeshua Jesus, as of the first time, or that may have not been the first time because this energy keeps coming back in multiple master teachers, right? So as of that time, the one that we all know about, it was more about holding the frequency, the light, right? Holding the light and walking it out. As of this one, it was more of a reverse, which is like why I always talk about the moonwalk was a dance done in reverse, because it was to bring us back to a particular time in the record of the collective soul body. And it was also to keep us on this left path. And I'm not talking about the left-hand path that we know. Source or Raphael is really just making me understand. It's really about a way of being where things were more hidden and controlled by just, the top 100 people, right? Or the one percenters. That is what Source is talking about, the left, right? So that's who Michael Jackson actually truly is. And the persecution that he received is very familiar. It's very familiar. So they took him to an underground facility, and I see him being some sort of like half human, half animal sort of archetype where it feels that he's being mocked where he is. You see, that music wasn't just music that he was singing, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better way for you and for me. That energy, that energy would have shifted us so fast. They had to stop it. They had to put all of these charges, they had to put all of these things on him. They wanted us to stay under that hand they had us under, but his songs were shifting the consciousness. They didn't like that, and so he was taken for that purpose. When you are a lighthouse, guys, they will try to take you. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them school you. Don't let them rearrange you. Like now I'm getting, and I'm not sure who this is, this Bob Marley, all of them, they're all get taken when they try to awaken the consciousness. It's the same thing here on YouTube or any other platform. When you try to awaken the consciousness, they want to take this down or take that video down, take your channel down, do all these sorts of things, guys, because they want to stay, they want you underneath their rulership, their hand, right? The moment you start thinking righteous, thinking about the common man, thinking about expanding love, healing vibration, then you know what happens next. And so this is what happened to Michael Jackson. This is what happened to him. So I'm going to do a separate channeling about that. So now I want to go back into Diddy, guys. And it's very interesting. This video is so different. Do you notice how my tonality is quite just, it's very interesting because this energy is like, it's a finale energy. It's like all of these things, there's no urgency here. All of these things are being corrected right now. It's almost like I'm talking about it like it's already happened. The correction has already happened. That's the energy that I'm in because I see it. I see it, right? And so a lot of people don't know that P. Diddy, he started talking about this about 4 years ago. He was putting together a Black party. And what that means was people would be splitting away from the Democratic Party, and he was going to put together and personally fund like like you have a third party, the independent, but it would be like a party like that would be for Black politicians. He was to put money behind them, kind of raise them up, put them in the public spotlight, much like some of our older leaders, right? Such like Martin Luther King, such like, all the ones that came before, Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X and Farrakhan, like all of those ones, right? But a lot of these people became talking heads, right? For the left hand, the left rulership, right? Not the left hand path, but the left rulership. And so he was going to do that, guys. And he was talking specifically. It's funny because a lot of people in the beginning, they were really kind of rallying behind him. And I do believe that this is why all of this is falling down on him now, because this is the same thing with Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson wanted to boss up and buy the Beatles catalog and pretty much own Sony, right? And Sony, the reason why is Sony is because they are in position to keep this hand on humanity. So he was basically going to take that hand and turn it to the right, turn it to the heal the world energy, to the Raphael energy, which means heal. God has healed, right? He was going to do that. And so they have to keep their demonic institutions in leadership of the collective, right? And he was a threat to that, which is why he was taken, right? And another thing too with P. Diddy, regardless of all of this stuff, mind you, no one knew any of those things. Well, the common man didn't know any of those things back then. And he was getting praised for this. He was on CNN talking about it with a lot of different Democrats, and they were behind it. But then here is when it went left. He was talking about withholding the black vote. And this is where it got really dangerous for him. And I do believe this is why they blew the whistle on him, because it's not just Diddy, guys. Everyone in Hollywood is doing this. Every single one in Hollywood, the higher ups in Hollywood, they're all doing this. He's small potatoes, but why him? It's because he was trying to. I remember, I think Martin Luther King, when Martin Luther King was talking about he wanted everyone to be integrated, right? Where black, white, Hispanic, Asian, like all of us will be together, right? So he really fought and he really stood on that. But there was a speech he gave once, and he said, now he knows that he led his people into a burning building, right? So what that means is this integration became nothing more than another form of slavery, right? So he led Black people into a burning building. I'm getting the sense, and I'm hearing senses, that P. Diddy wanted to take us out of that burning building, not to what do you call it? Not to like have segregation again, but to have a party that was going to care about the rights of Black people who built this country. And every time they tell you that you're getting a Black president, you're not. We've never had a Black president, like I've said before. Obama was half American, Caucasian American, and half Kenyan, right? His father is from Kenya. He's not a foundational Black American. And Kamala, as we know, she lied, girl, she lied. She's not Black. And even if she was Black, and she's not, even if she was, it still wouldn't have anything to do with being a foundational Black American, which is totally different. So you've never had a Black president, and there is a reason for that. Well, actually, we have. Back in the day, we actually had a lot of Black presidents before we started having, a string of white presidents. There was that, right? But a lot of people don't know about that. But just look it up. You'll see all the Black presidents we had. But this was like back way back in the day. But what I'm saying, in recent times, because every so often they rewrite history, guys. They will destroy monuments around the world. They will destroy whole groups of people, which is what they're doing now with all these different wars around the world. This is how they do it when they want to rewrite history. Same thing with Black Wall Street here, where, they bombed Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Arizona. They bombed that, and then they rewrote history as of these, so to speak, African American people are lower filled, and that they need our help, and that they're poor. But in truth, before when we were segregated, the Black dollar actually circulated within the businesses within the Black community. Oh, okay. We had aviation, stores, businesses, doctors, lawyers. And so it became kind of like just a place where you could feel good about what you were building. And this happened not too long after the end of, so to speak, slavery, or this indentured servitude that we've been under for all this time. This happened not too long after that. And of course, when they fear that you're going to remove their hand, they will get rid of it. It's the same thing. Michael Jackson, what we're talking about, Black Wall Street, um, Martin Luther King, now Diddy, when the establishment, when the elites fear that you are going to overthrow their system of control, then they remove you. So I say all of that to say is that this was a threat deeply to the Democratic Party of what Diddy, when he started talking about withholding the vote, this is when the black vote, because if you withhold the black vote, Democrats would never win. And by the way, blacks in this country were always Republicans back in the day. This whole Democrat thing is fairly new. I think this push may have happened in the 80s or the late or the 70s, but prior to them, we were Republicans, right? I know it happened some time ago, the shift, right? And so that's when Diddy became on their naughty list. And think about it, they need all the black vote. After all, that's why they have to tell people that Kamala is black so they can get the black vote. Oh, she's a black woman, so they can get the black vote, right? And because he was talking about withholding that, it's funny that right before the election, this all fell down on him, you know, started last year unraveling where he couldn't he couldn't do any of that of what he spoke about, right? We would have been having a whole different conversation right now if we had this kind of third or now fourth party, which would rival the Democrat Party, because that most Black people are voting Democrat. We used to, and a lot now have switched over since Trump came on the scene, has switched over to being Republican. But this is why this is all falling down. So you have to know that it's never, oh, we're going to take down the big bad wolf that has been running the mean streets of New York and LA for so long with tunnels underneath their house. It's not because they care about the general public. It's because they care about keeping the hand over humanity, being the hand that rocks the cradle, that rocks the earth children back to sleep every single night. That is why this whole thing with Diddy has fallen down, guys. And let me see if there's anything else I want to say. I got a lot, guys. There's so much going on. I think I may leave that one right there. I'm going to get a message here from my book, The Great Expansion, a Cosmic Bible for the Ages, guys. And I'm going to just randomly open, and I want to see what source wants to tell us today, guys. Give me a second. Okay, so I'm reading from page 114 in my book. And one of these cosmic beings is speaking, and she says, I'm in charge of fertility and the incubation of beings and souls. I merge them together. I incubate beings, and when the incubation period is complete, I make sure the soul goes into the being and that they are very much connected. I am the mother of all first creations, not animals, but human beings and other beings in the multi-sphere. Beautiful. As we were talking about, Raphael is when the body passes away, he removes the soul. And so now in this channeled Bible, and I just opened to a random page, we're talking about this light being, this aspect of source that is to retrieve that soul now from Raphael. This is Yeshua Jesus, the energy of Yeshua Jesus. So this being that I channeled is to receive those souls from Yeshua Jesus and incubate them for a period of time, because this being is in charge of the fertility of beings in the multi-sphere. So she incubates them the beings and the soul. So she's going to take the soul and she's going to incubate. This is how we're going to be able to get to the higher frequency. We have to be incubated. We have to be attuned. We have to be in an isolated space and time to be able to be attuned to this higher vibration, because our bodies are not attuned to it. We would burst, we would explode if we tapped in and truly brought more of our conscious awareness into these other parallel universes. It could not hold the frequency, these bodies can't hold it. So we have to go into an incubation. The souls are being taken, right, from these physical bodies, right? A lot of you guys are in incubation. If you're in isolation, you're absolutely in incubation. You're being incubated by Source Divine. That's what's going on. She's going to merge those together. And when the incubation period is complete, when the technology is complete, then she makes sure that the souls and the beings are very much connected. So of our higher dimensional bodies that we're getting, she's going to make sure that these souls, these same souls we have now, go through a incubation or isolation period for upgrades, for cleansing, for purification. This is what's happening now. This is why I'm fasting. I'm in incubation. I've been in incubation the past 2 years of my life. I've been walking with Source Divine. I've been in isolation. I've been in incubation. I've had my eye open, my third eye open, and I've in constant communication with Source daily. And that constant communication, it also brings constant retaliation from other beings, from the hand. It does not want you to take the wheel back, but we're being called to do that now, guys. So I think that I will leave you with that. We are being birthed out of this realm. We are no longer under this left hand, this rulership. We're going in another direction because humanity has decided that that direction did not work. That direction did not work. And so this is what's going on. I think I've said it. I have other messages, but I don't want to make this is already too long, girl. So I'm going to leave this all right here, guys. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and go ahead and book a quantum reading, guys. Email instructions number 4 humanity@gmail.com. And if you'd like to just have a picture reading, just send in your picture. Just email me something new that I'm doing. Just email instructions number 4 humanity@gmail.com. And you can submit your picture, and then I could do a picture reading. Okay, and I'll let you guys know the price for that. But I'm going to get out of here, and I love you. I love you. I love you. And so it is as we walk together in divine love. Be well. Be well, guys. Bye.